Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. Hopefully, everyone's having a great week. I know it just started, but welcome to another Tech Talk on Monday night right here on YouTube, guys. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let me know how the audio and the video is coming across. Hopefully, we're in good shape. We've been working through some technical changes tonight, and we have some interesting content tonight. I think it's going to be good, guys. And I see we've got Zach here, Ken here, Beginner's Tech is here, Glitch is here, Mike is here. Hey guys, cheers. Good to have you. Glitch says 5x5. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I had a little bit of fun with the settings right beforehand. I'm learning new things thanks to our guest star tonight, so should be pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead now. I've got to juggle more stuff than I'm used to, so it'll just take me a minute to get set up here, guys, but it should be good with any luck if I start off on the right areas. And Zach said the audio and the video is good. Pixel 3D, hey guys, good to see you. Good to see another celebrity in the crowd. We always got some cool people dropping by. This is great. Alright guys, let's fire up the chat so future people can see this. We'll see if we can get the content going. Zach's got Noe and Pedro off to a warm welcome. Appreciate that, Zach. Love seeing the Adafruit crew stop by here. Pretty honored. Awesome stuff, guys. Alright guys, let's get right into it. Viewer questions throughout, guys. Throw them in the chat. If I don't answer them and catch them, someone else will. Awesome guys in the community here. We're going to do some tech news. We'll do the viewer challenge this week, some stuff on 3D printing, a bunch of stuff from the community of makers, hackers, inventors, you name it, some stuff from the shop, upcoming sneak peek. I got some big sneak peek stuff going on. Tech tip of the week, fail. I don't have a tech tip of the week this week. Viewer comments, if we get to them. But the big one tonight, guys, we do have a guest speaker. We have a guest joining us tonight, and with any luck, I can dodge the technical details here and get this to work. I haven't actually been able to have anyone on a live video on the cast. I'm really hopeful this is going to work out all right. And we'll learn some things, and I am really excited to introduce our guest today. With any luck, go ahead and fire up my headset so we don't end up with any feedback, guys. This gentleman, if you're not already familiar with him, he has an awesome YouTube channel. His name is David Watts, and he has joined us via Skype. Hey, David, have we got you?
Hello. I don't know if I'm on screen at all because the stream is well behind, so I've no idea.
Should be good.
Okay, good. Well, hello everyone. As Eric said, I'm David Watts, and I'm joining you on stream tonight. By the way, just so your listeners get a little bit of big up for you, if everyone can just click that little thumbs up just underneath the amount of people watching, that'd be great. So thanks.
Appreciate that. David, so good to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. It's truly an honor to have you here. David has his own YouTube channel and has done very well in sharing a lot of really cool projects with us all. I know I got a lot of inspiration from David's channel directly, and probably what inspired me to go with a lot of the projects I did, even though I didn't discover some of his videos until after I had made my own, at least twice, where I'm like, crap, David, you already did this. Anyway, David, if you care to share a little bit of your background with the crew.
Right, my background. Well, let's go. I'm not going to go too far back because that would take a while. But let's start off with kind of education, I guess. So, I guess we're talking about electronics and stuff like that, and hobbyist stuff. So I started doing computing a long time ago. I'm kind of like 32 now, so I'm not massively old. But I started doing a higher national diploma, HND, in computing way back, very early 2000, maybe 2000. And that was it brought me into the arena of programming, but it turned out I didn't like that. So I did a year of that course, dumped it. This is at university. I dumped that course and then I started doing something called media technology. It's not something you'll find today. That's sort of a dead subject. Unfortunately, technology moved a lot faster than anyone really thought. So this course only existed for about 2 years. I was doing it, and so I was the last graduating year of this degree. And media technology actually had nothing to do with electronics. I think I remember us doing the Nyquist theorem once, which is about signal to noise ratio.
Yep.
I think I made an AM radio at one point using one of those. I can't even remember what they're called. They're like carbon rod with wire wrapped around it. It's like a what are they called? Those things?
I don't remember the proper name, but that's what I had for in my first electronics kit for the first antenna.
Yeah, exactly.
A ferrite core.
Ferrite core. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I remember doing that, but nothing else. So my entire education came from either my father, who he didn't necessarily do electronics. He liked making things. So my grandfather and my father, they both liked making things with woodwork and metalwork and stuff. So my granddad had this really cool workshop in his basement. He had a lathe, like a really big old lathe, not like a smaller, more compact one, like a huge lathe. And he had like one of those pillar drills and all sorts of stuff, and like old model ships and things he built. But my dad also did sort of hobbyist stuff, and he also worked on cars a lot. So we had a lot of influences when we were kids about making things. And when I went to university, indeed A-level I didn't have very much. A-level is like high school, so I didn't have a lot of sort of making influences in my life. But when I was at university, I got to making video and I got to making audio and websites in the very early days of the internet, mind. So these were all terrible. And also video was like 320 by 240,
Yes.
the kind of thing you'd be editing on a PC, all coming from like a tape. So there was no digital anything. I think we had some digital cameras, that was about it. So I started making digital products or sort of websites mainly. That was where I started. I did a bit of freelance as well, but that was, I mean, everything I'm ashamed of about what I did back then, looking back now. And then it was only, God, how many years ago? 5 years ago, that I really started looking at making electronics. So the idea was that I wanted to make something on my computer that would control a real life object. So I wasn't really bothered about what that object was because I was into programming. But then I quickly realized that you could only go so far by buying something to connect to a computer. So like, do you remember, a long time ago there was this thing, it was a robotic arm and you'd plug it in via USB and they were terrible, they really were. It's not like the Mi arm that's available now that you can get. I can't remember who makes that. There's a really nice dude on the internet I spoke to. I don't know, it's on Hackaday, it's on loads of things. They sell it in the Hackaday store, actually.
Oh, very cool.
It's Mi arm. It's all those little 9G servos and stuff.
Yep.
But this was old school, so we're talking 90s sort of technology. And it was this arm thing. And there was one at my school, and so we played around with that. And the BBC Micro, that probably wouldn't have made it to Canada, I wouldn't have thought.
I don't think so.
But they had this thing. It was like it's called Turtle Graphics, Logo it was called. And it was this little robot.
I had Logo in my school. We had icons with
It was so the Logo Turtle Graphics thing was an on-screen thing with a little turtle, and you could tell it to go forward, left, and then you'd have it in a for loop, which I didn't know what it was at the time, but essentially it would create some kind of spirograph type pattern. And so that was a device connected to a computer. And so when I'd left university, I'd learned a lot about programming. I decided I wanted to create something like that. And, you know, amazingly, it wasn't as easy as I thought. You know, there's so much to learn around it. And I spent probably about a year after I left university. I didn't spend a lot of time on it because I had a lot of other things to do when I was younger. Short attention span, trying to make friends, all that kind of stuff. And so I spent about a year learning about electronics, and I got so many small basic things down that I was able to pick up kits and start soldering and understand how they worked. And I never ever did get anything connected to the computer via USB. And it was my sole aim to do that. It really was. That's what I set out doing. And so over the course of the last 3 years, 2 or 3 years, I think, I've started learning more about the online community that's available for people who want to learn electronics. And so I started picking things up, talking to people, doing a lot of research, getting books out of the library. And that's how it's all come about, really. So that's my background. Is that I'm self-taught, and I just had a bit of a drive to learn a bit more and to take what I was using on the computer, so that digital world, and start affecting the real world in some way, which wasn't an easy prospect, even though I thought it could be done. I think films really trick you in that way,
Mm.
that you see someone tapping away
Yes.
on a computer, like just randomly all over the place,
Everything's
and then
fine.
suddenly something happens in the real world. When
Yeah.
really it doesn't work like that. It's all on screen usually. So my background is that I wanted to move from my pure digital space into real space and affect the real world. And I think I'm starting to do that, but
Absolutely.
it's all evolving into a completely different thing. It's not the same thing I wanted it to be, but it's certainly my background.
Very cool. So you've got a very successful YouTube channel. You've done well, some amazing videos. Tell the viewers a little bit about it for those who aren't familiar, and
Okay.
future viewers who don't know who you are.
Well, for those who don't know who I am the guy that made sock puppets once in a YouTube video.
I was hoping you'd
It
share
received,
that.
it received thousands of hits in a very short space of time. And I think it's on, like, I don't know, hang on, let me just, I'm going on the internet, I'm going to go and find out how many it's got.
Some random
So
site still
it's a
linking
lot.
to it.
It's an awful lot. So puppet, let's see, 137,000 views, which for anyone who does a small YouTube channel that had like 700 subscribers or something, no, less than that, I think. And I'll tell you where those subscribers came from in a second. It's a really weird story. But so I didn't start making, I didn't make electronics on YouTube. That was not what I did at all. It was really weird to start with. Anyway, I made this sock puppet video for odd reasons, and it went sort of nuts. Loads of people started picking it up, and I realized it was because I put the right search terms in there.
Yep.
And so people looked at it and commented, and I didn't do it seriously at all. It's like I did some dinosaur noises. It was weird. It was really odd. Anyhow, I started this YouTube channel, and it's called like David J. Watts or whatever. I use my name. But if I was going to create it today, I wouldn't use my name, because now I'm tied down to that whole thing, and it's not really, it doesn't really tell you anything about what the channel is. But so I started this after I broke my ankle in a few places,
Ooh.
the tibia and fibula. Is it yeah, tibia and fibula. So I broke those in a few places after I played some football. So I ended up having a year out of football and about 6 months off work.
Ouch.
I was in a leg cast right up to my hip, so like a full leg cast, which was a bit debilitating, but it meant that I could shuffle around at home. And I had this camera because I was still into sort of photography and cameras and things at the time. So I had this camera and I started to do these little vlogs. And because I'd become so insular during this time of having a broken ankle and I couldn't go out or anything, I really got into it, and like this online community opened up, and it was brilliant. But most of the people that watched those videos at the time, I'm not sure how PG this is. So if there are children listening, it's a bit weird.
Cover your ears. Yeah.
But most of the people watching had this weird cast fetish. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what it is. I didn't embrace that at all. I just sort of dismissed it, and I didn't mind because people were watching the videos and sharing them and stuff. So anyway, I did this one video on, let's see if what was it called? Drawdio or Drawrido, that's it. It's an Adafruit one, actually. And it's a kit they make, and it's a theremin. It's a little theremin attached to a pencil. So it uses the lead of the pencil as a conductive agent through your finger.
That's bizarre.
Then you touch a bit of the paper where you've drawn the lead,
Yeah.
and that becomes like a sort of a circuit, essentially.
Yeah.
It measures the resistance and makes a noise through this little speaker. So I made this thing. I called it Drawdio, another project to make and fail at. And it was my first thing doing electronics in a long time. And I had one of these. I had a soldering iron. Well, it's a soldering gun. I don't know. Have you ever used one where it's got a trigger like that?
Yeah. I still have multiple guns.
They are the most inaccurate tool for soldering small parts I've ever used. But I managed it. I did that. And I loved it. And the moment I'd made this thing, I thought, how does that work? I didn't understand. And so I went at it, and I started learning loads and loads of things.
Yep.
And then the channel just sort of exploded, and I really wanted to start making new little projects that people could look at, that I could learn. And so I started building up this subscriber base. and it's not a massive channel. I've got about 4,000 subscribers, I think,
Yeah.
which is, under half of yours, I just think.
It's fantastic, is what it is.
No,
That's
no,
a
I'm
lot
really
of people.
I'm so happy that people want to watch them and learn as well. And that was the main thing,
Absolutely.
really. Because I was picking up so much from other people, I wanted to find a
Yes.
way of giving back. Because you can you can read things in a forum and not comment because you don't have anything else to add or other questions to add. And it sort of feels a little bit, when you do that, you're taking that information and not giving back in any way, and you're just
Agree.
doing it for your own projects. And I think that people should give back in a way and say, I found this information here, here's the project I've made. And that's what I decided to do. So I decided to build up all these videos and things that I was making. And the first one I did was the word clock, which set me on this sort of journey of creating projects. So that was the starting point, was creating a word clock, which was a clock that told the time in words rather than in numbers. And so that's where I started with YouTube, and that's where it's still going. That's still the idea.
Very cool. I can relate to that start, and I'm gonna throw something out there just because it's a little funny. The sock puppet video that started things. Guys that know, I featured the Hacksmith, another YouTube channel. He got his start doing backflip tutorials.
Really?
On YouTube. Yeah, that was went viral, got a ton of hits. Yeah, you guys have something in common there. I never had anything go viral early on. I made crappy Learjet videos, but it worked out good.
They're not crappy.
Actually, they're insanely horrible, but it taught me a lot. And heck, wherever we start from. But I really resonate with your comments. I think this is what bonds a lot of us. This scales of life thing, and how we learn from each other, but when we feel that we haven't given enough back, we look for opportunities and ways to do so, and YouTube has given us that. And as a content creator, I totally resonate with your comments on that YouTube gives us a path to give back when on our own time, make a video how we did something and just put it out there. Who knows, maybe it's of use, maybe not, but yeah, it's fun.
I agree. I think even if you read a tutorial online, you follow a forum. I'll give Adafruit as a really great example. Their tutorials I go back to all the time,
Yes.
just to look up, wiring for a display for the Nokia 6110. I can't remember what it is. Is it
5110.
5110?
Yeah.
The wiring, that I go back to that every time because it's not
Yes.
something you can just keep in your head. Those
No.
like which ones you put on. Is it Mizo, Mozzie? It's
Yes.
SPI, isn't it?
That's right.
So I just go back to that every time because I know it's a great resource and I look at it. So I think if anyone goes to see those things and create something, they should say, this is a good resource. You should go here. Here's a picture of me with this project, or here's a picture of the project. I think everyone that has the ability to share those things
Yes.
should share them because it points everyone in the right direction.
And a comment on that, because you brought up Adafruit, the libraries that I use in Arduino, and I know you use as well, like the 5110, Lady Ada did an awesome job of putting out these amazing tutorials and libraries. It's very important, if we share that info, that we give credit where credit is due to the people who came before us. In any of the code I publish, if I have libraries in it, you'll always see, leave the metadata, leave the original comments
The bit at the
intact.
top.
Always leave that for the people who laid the way before us, and I think it's really crucial. And whenever possible, link back to the website, like learn.adafruit.com. Oh, can't fail. Amazing stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to watch the dropped frames, which we have none of. We're doing good, and
that's good.
some people are saying the stream's a little dicey in places, but we're totally good on our end. 2 thumbs. I think people might be searching for your videos too. You've been working on a lot of PCB designs lately. What are you currently working on? And let people know about that.
Okay, well, I'm working on several things at the moment, but actually, I'll go through some of the things I'm working on, and then I'll add the little caveat in at the end. I'm working on. Well, I've just finished I haven't actually got it with me. I've given it away already. I made a little LED matrix, an SMD LED matrix. Now, I
Guys,
made
that's
this.
open source for you right there. He already gave it away.
I did already give it away. There's an electronics club at the university I work at, and they're all like great kids and everything, but they don't have the experience to do a lot of stuff. So I like give them my old projects so they can use it as some inspiration, play around with it, mess around with the code if they want to. And so I just give it to them so they can play around with the stuff. Because I got 3 of these things, I can make another one.
Yep.
They wouldn't have, I guarantee they would not have been able to solder this thing in anywhere near the time that I managed to.
For
do,
the
which was
record,
3 hours.
that thing looked like a pain in the butt to solder, by the way.
God, it was. But I'm really used to SMD now. So I made this, and it is all building up to something. So eventually it's sort of going to be, I know this was an all-in-one solution, but...
So for the viewers, what is that?
Well, I would like to make a robot. So I didn't want to start off just by making a little platform. I want to make something a little bit more integrated. And I want to palm off a lot of the movement and sort of the heavy lifting of the robot itself to an Arduino and some of the display stuff. So I'd like it to have a little LED matrix chest in its body. I don't know if it's going to be walking, it probably won't, but I'd like it to look really retro and awesome. So I wanted to have a little LED matrix. I was also making this this board here, which was it's an 80 mega 32U4, so it's an Arduino Leonardo clone essentially, which means you can just plug it in straight via USB and reprogram it. Now this was going to be one of the little modules I attached to my robot so that it could do things and be easily reprogrammable. And it's also battery powered, so you can throw a LiPo on there, 3.7 volts, and boost it up to 5 volts, and it also has recharging on board. Now it's not the right form factor, but the idea was that I would just learn to see if I could create a circuit like this, have it attached to a single button to have it latching or not, and make it successful. But unfortunately I didn't. But I'm going to sort of finish this off, finesse it a little bit and make it work. But I'm waiting for some... I've separated this board out into 3 parts now so I can figure out what went wrong, because I don't know, unfortunately. And I also did this USB HID thing recently. And that's because, do you remember I was talking about how I've always wanted to plug something into a computer and program it? Well, the idea is that I would be able to do that. So I've been working on actually realizing that idea that I had like 3 or 4 years ago. So
this was the volume control one, or?
Yeah, the volume control. So it has a PWM light to show the volume itself, not controlled by the computer mind. And it's got a little rotary encoder on here. I could probably get these a little bit closer.
Yeah.
A little rotary encoder. And a load of broken out pins for programming. And it's also got the 80 mega 32U4 on there as well. So that one was a pretty easy one to make, and it's really tiny, and I was very impressed with it.
He says easy, folks. Did you see the complex circuit there?
Well, I did want to sort of talk a little bit about PCB design as well, but we'll go into that in a second. But so all of these projects were meant to be building up to something, so they're thematic really, but there's no overarching design yet because I'm still learning quite a lot as I do it. I mean, I showed this on a stream a little while back, and I haven't covered all the things, and I had like dates attached to these. I'm sort of saying it like you can see it's on my screen now, but I'd sort of got these sort of topics that I wanted to cover in my videos that were coming up. So one of them was this GSM GPRS module, another one was the GPS module, and I've covered both of those now. And then I'm going to try and sort of link them together as well soon. But that's for this high altitude balloon project that I'm working on with the kids at the university,
Nice.
sort of following in your footsteps there. But I want to make it first so that I know how to guide them when they're making it. So that's the idea. I'm not really sending this balloon up. It's for them to do, but I want to be able to guide them in it, so I've got to do that. I teach at the Electronics Club on a sort of voluntary basis. I'm not paid lecturer or anything like that. In fact, you don't get a lecturer in Arduino-based stuff. I mean, they do embedded electronics, but as an industry thing, they don't teach Arduino or anything like that.
No.
It's all very different, and it's not really the same ecosystem or the same ideals that you have with Arduino, which is more about experimentation and fun and just seeing what works. With embedded systems is all about working to briefs and
Yeah.
achieving specific goals, and whereas Arduino is a bit more fun, and that's what the high altitude balloon project is only fun. I mean, there aren't really any practical applications that can come from just throwing that balloon up there, apart from learning, and that's it. It's just learning, which is great. It's what the Electronics Club is all about, really.
Absolutely.
Very imaginative name for that club, I might add. I did try and get them to come up with some kind of acronym, but they weren't up for it. They just went for Electronics Club. I think it might affect the uptake of that club.
That can be changed later.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was working on. So on this board here, there's an LT1302, which is the little boost, 5-volt boost, and it will kick out 600 milliamps at 5 volts. I know that because I've written it on the back of the circuit, so I remember.
Perfect.
And I was going to work on this little development board, so I'm getting one not printed but milled. The university have got some sort of facilities to do that, so they're going to mill me a board, and it's so I can make sure that my design works for that, and it's not that going wrong with the board. So I was going to work on that. Also a single latching SMD version of a board I did a while back. I did a video on a single latching button, which Dave Jones made originally, but I altered a little bit so it had some voltage sensing, so it would cut off the circuit if the battery voltage of a 3.7 volt LiPo went below the voltage that I prefer it to stay at, which was 3.3 volts, I think. So I didn't want it to go below 3.3. They can go down to 3, I think, or 3.1, but you don't really want to drain it too much. So 3.3 volts I thought was fine. It's used most of its power, all but like 15% or something by that point anyway. So I wanted to have a SMD thing with that included. So that's what I was working on. An an SPL meter, which is a sound pressure level meter, is another project I was working on.
Very cool.
That was for a studio, so it would cut off stuff. There's loads and loads of stuff that I've been working on, but I haven't actually finished, so no one sees them, which is terrible. But all that stuff is like floating around in my brain, but I'm not quite finished it yet, or written it up either, which is the worst. Actually, one thing I did want to mention. Sorry, I know I'm off camera. I did say I haven't written it up, but as a bit of advice to anybody doing electronics, I have a little book, and so everyone should have one of these.
David can't see this yet. He'll see it in a moment on the screen, but I also have the same type of book, and it is full of handwritten notes.
Yeah, I have. I don't know. You can't see it.
Yeah, we can see that pretty good.
This one's terrible. I don't know if you can see that.
The Twitter status TV.
This was my first Raspberry Pi. Oh no, it wasn't. This was an Arduino project. Oh, it was connected to the Commodore 64. That's what it was. And so I write down all these these were LED matrix things. So that's the array of digits. So I was trying to figure it out in my brain.
I thought that was a whole bunch of binary communication or something.
No. Although I do know how to convert binary to hexadecimal, decimal, and to ASCII as well, actually. But that was something I learned at university. So let's skip to a page with some interesting stuff. Oh, right, okay. This is the... it's backwards on my webcam. I don't know what it is on. This was the IR reflectance stuff. So I'm actually drawing circuits. Dave Jones would call this DaveCAD, I guess.
Yes.
But I find it's a really easy way of. So this is I think that's summing of an audio signal, possibly. I don't know. I have several of these little books, and I leave them lying around, so I scribbled in them all the time. And this is just my journey through electronics. And if I forget something, I can just look through and go, oh, okay, this was the stuff I was working on before. That's how I wired up that 4050 chip for the Nokia 5110 there. Or that's how I worked out that I needed a 74HC125CN chip to do the voltage level translation for the Commodore 64 user port or something like that. There's loads of stuff in there.
Random stuff.
So you desperately need a little notebook. I think that, if you were younger, perhaps, I know this sounds, I don't mean to say that I'm really old or anyone my age is too old for this, but you can do things like OneNote online, and it's like
Evernote, OneNote, yeah, lots of options.
That might be really good for some people, but I'm still a pen and paper guy, unfortunately, so I still do that, but they're absolutely invaluable. Otherwise you have like little bits of paper, like this bit of paper here, which is God, what is this? MOSFET load ADC sense pin. I don't even remember because I didn't put it in the book and I didn't write a title. So I've just got bits of paper strewn all over the place. And that's when I've been lazy and not picked up the book. So
Dave,
I've got lots and lots of projects, but they're all still in that book, unfortunately.
so I don't know what our age difference is. I thought I was maybe older than you, but I forget. But
I'm 32.
okay, so I've got you by 4 years. I use Evernote. Actually, I use OneNote in my professional life. But for I know you won't be able to see this, David, but other people can. This is one of my other notebooks that's entirely full, and I've run out of space in this one, and I have 3 of these on the go. I really, for electronics and YouTube and video creation and ideas where, like in my case, where mkmeorg is going, I really, really like these cheap notebooks. It sounds foolish and it sounds old school, but I embrace both, and I still prefer this for this part of my life. I don't know why it is. It just old school habit, very quick and easy, and you don't have to think about how am I going to draw this on the PC. You just draw it out. It's so much
I can
faster.
see it. I can see all the books you've got now. I'm watching the spectacle of it. You know, there's this thing. It's called the Boogie Board Sync. You should look it up. I've been thinking about getting one. They're a little bit too pricey for me at the moment, but they are. Do you know those a magic pad, or is it called a magic pad? Magic slate. I think that might be the American term for it. It's a little magnetic sheet, and you scribble on it with a pen, and then you could just wipe it off.
Oh yeah, like an Etch-a-Sketch kind of thing, except
exactly
it was
like that.
Yeah.
Except for these ones, you can save it to a PDF on the device and then sync it to your computer later. So I'm thinking about picking one of those up so that I can save all of my drawings and notes to a PDF rather than having these notebooks. But I'm in love with the notebooks at the moment.
It would be really neat for me, particularly since I've just embraced GitHub. I just leaped into the 90s sometime recently somehow.
I did the same thing.
But if I could do those scribbles, if I could do in PDF and save them in Git along with those projects, that actually might be really cool, because I know I would appreciate being able to see someone else's scribble pad when I'm recreating their project, because a lot of good info comes in there. You can glean a lot about how people drew something out or didn't draw it out.
Yeah, I think it's all in. I don't know what I'm going to say. Cliff notes, but I'm not quite sure. Or it's all in the margins. That's the expression I'm looking for. That's the secret. It's all in the little notes in the margins. It's the thought process that goes through making stuff. I mean, you can all very well look at someone's project that they've made and stuff that I've made, but if you don't have some of that thought process to go along with it, you don't get the same learning process that they've gone through. So I think seeing those little diagrams is probably really, really useful for people.
The context is key, and that brings us kind of full circle back to why video works so well for some of us, because you can see the context behind a project as it's being put together, or what someone is sharing about it, where they accentuate the details, where from a book that's very difficult, or a PDF online.
I've just seen the glitch said sponsored by OneNote.
Yes, absolutely. Any plans for some more live shows coming up, David?
Not yet. Well, yes. Yeah, definitely plans for live shows. But the problem is trying to find a format I'm really comfortable with and that I know will sort of work. And it's really tough to go, because you've got an amazing example of a live show that works and people really enjoy it. I enjoy it, so I know it's good. But trying to find something a bit different is hard. And I don't know if I don't know. It's the answer. I'm not sure. I mean, I love doing it. It's really exciting, and I like interacting with people. But finding the right format where people are going to be entertained and informed, because I don't want it to be just some kind of entertainment thing. You can go and watch anything for that. Telly is for that, really.
It's not the same, though. Come on.
That's true. But I want it to be entertaining and informing. And I'd also like it to involve other people rather than just me, because I don't think I've got enough time. I'm certainly not clever enough to pull off an entire live show or hold court by myself, is what I mean, really. So I'd rather it be a collaborative thing. So I'm thinking about it still. It's certainly on the
Okay.
cards. It's not passed me by. I'm doing this, like, I'm streaming games at the moment, not for anything in particular, just because I like playing computer games. But so I'm doing that, so I get used to streaming, and I'm enjoying that. So it's still on the cards, and I definitely want to do something in terms of making and technology. And I've got some ideas surrounding, like, doing live builds. I thought that would be really cool.
I thought that was great, by the way. Love seeing the thought process that you put into the design and your live show there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it actually, but I think I wish I hadn't done it so off the cuff. I think I could have shown more. I could have actually not given a lesson, but showed some of the pitfalls that you find when you first get into doing either working with. I mean, I showed. I can't remember what it was. Was it a 4027 chip or something like that? Using those chips, there's various pitfalls, but also using EagleCAD, there are loads of pitfalls that you fall into that will throw you right out of it and will make you not want to touch the thing for days and days and days, or
Yes.
totally give up. So there are loads of things that you will do. And as a massive computer nerd, I'm perfectly prepared to work through the quirks of software, whereas other people aren't quite
Yeah.
so familiar with software quirks and won't go, oh, this is another thing. I'll have to work around it this way rather than that. So there are certain things, and I probably should think about perhaps redoing that exercise and showing people those pitfalls. So there's lots of ideas. I just haven't nailed anything down yet, or certainly settled on a schedule, which I really should do.
It's all right. You let us know when the time comes. Definitely no rules here to format, and there's no rules against formats being repeated across. People watched Seinfeld multiple days every week for what? Like, how many years? It was in the teens. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who would gladly watch any making or inventing or hacking or electronics or any of your skill set on any night of the week, David. I truly believe it.
Cool. Well, I will try and get something done. And if anyone watching has got any ideas or would like to take part, you don't have to be on the screen or anything. You could just throw in a project and say, David, make this, and I'll try and do it or something. Well, that would be great if anyone would tell me.
Absolutely. That'd be great. Parting words, David, before we close out?
Yes, I have a quote for you.
Oh, I like quotes.
Well,
As long as it's not one of mine.
this is a quote from a guy called Brett Batty. He's a lecturer at DMU, De Montfort University. That's where I work. He does music technology and innovation, and music technology and performance. But music technology and innovation is about using technology to change the way that we see music. And he has this amazing quote that I always will remember, but I've written it down just in case I forget any part of it. But he says, it's about how you're creative. And I think a lot of this sort of relates to what I'm doing at the moment, which is why I'm not producing as much content as before. I'm on hiatus while I learn something. So I can't keep making stuff without stopping for a while to learn things.
Yep.
And it takes a long time for an older gent, as you know, Eric, to pick up things.
He just called
Younger
me
people would
old.
just- I was talking about me. But younger people will just get it like that. Or they'll be able to ingest more content or whatever. But I'm finding it harder and harder to learn as I get a bit older. But a quote he gave me, something he told me the other day, sort of made me think maybe that's not quite the case and I could learn a bit more cleverly, and I'm going to share that with you now. So he said, if you think about it, if the internet only had 100 pages, then there wouldn't really be very much value to it, because there wouldn't be many links that you could make between things. And as a creative thinker or a technologist, the more pages you have in your mental internet, the more links you can make between ideas, and therefore the more we can respond creatively to the challenges that come before us. So it was a really great quote about pulling in ideas from all these different places, not just following one website or one streamer. Not saying that people should desert you, but people should look in all over the place and just pick from every little bit and then bring those ideas together and see what sparks. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm researching old 4000 series chips, and I want to do a series on that. But first of all, I want to learn how to use them. I'm also researching robotics, researching artificial intelligence, which is entirely computer-based at the moment, Wolfram Alpha is something I'm looking into with the Raspberry Pi, so that should be exciting.
Very cool.
But that was a brilliant quote, I think, about creativity, and I think we can all learn from that and certainly ponder over it and think whether we are pulling from enough places and really expanding our mental internet, as it were.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic quote. I have to agree with it fully. You've seen my channel. You know how it's pretty much like squirrel, squirrel.
Absolutely. I mean, I know from your live streams that the amount of video sources you pull from, and every time you say, if you're not subscribed to this guy, you should be, I'm like, oh God. There's so much content. I can't fit it all in. I'm too old for this. And
the
so
watch later. That is the best tool on YouTube. Just keep clicking that, hover over it, and click that watch later button.
It's always like there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. That's what I keep telling myself. There's always time.
I don't get back to them all, but it is an amazing resource. I think I don't even know how many subscriptions I have now. I think it's over like 1,500, and a lot of those channels are dead now. But if I don't have time, which I usually don't, I just click that watch later and I'll skim through and I'll pick and choose, and it's so scattered on any given day. The content, I'll go right from brain interface, advanced medical stuff, to how to filter water in a survival situation. And actually you'll see downrange how those actually can silly projects, but it's really important that we pull from all these different sources and learn. It can be tech overload, though.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, there is a TED talk that was on recently that I saw on YouTube, and it was about prosthetics, and I think you should watch it. You'll have to go back on the is it TEDx? I'm not sure it was. One of those.
That's the problem. There's too many TED channels now, too.
But this one was a little bit of a tearjerker, actually, so you should really go and watch it, but it was very impressive.
If you can find that, throw the link my way or throw it in the G Plus community. I know it'll be good.
I will do. Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David. Really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Cool. Well, I've had a great time. So thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers, David. Thanks again. Guys, someone throw David's channel link in the chat. I'm sure Glitch can throw it in there for us. Everybody go check out David Watts. And there we go. Let's see if we can kill that off. I'm still learning how to do the multiple programs here, guys, so I think we got it. We are back to business, guys. That was an awesome appearance from David. I know that was a little unexpected. I didn't get to broadcast out beforehand to let you guys know that was going to be the format tonight, but going forward, I'd like to have some guest speakers on the show, and you guys requested David twice in the last 2 weeks, so hey, we are here to serve. Bring what the people want. Awesome. Peter said, Eric, you're not old till you reach my age, 66. All the best. Peter, you're not old at all. I think it's just totally a frame of mind, guys. Thank you, Glitch, for putting that link in there. Appreciate it. Yeah, age is definitely, it's all in our head, guys. I really hope that I sincerely hope that I just simply don't stop learning until the day I roll over it. Alright, guys, I'm going to spin up a little bit of the content that I had prepped. I think we're a little short on time, so I will skip to just a couple of things. Some community announcements. Oh, not that one. There we go. Some community announcements from the site this week, guys. Some stuff has changed, and I wanted to share it with you guys. There's a new website. mkmeorg got a makeover. It in fact got an entirely new website. I thank you, Stephen Kibberton, for helping me out with a little bit of advice on this one. It was truly appreciated. You guys can just go to the makeme.org site if you want to catch a preview. It is still under construction. This is the top of the page, and you can scroll down to see how I've formatted things a little bit differently, how I really want to change the way that we connect with the interwebs as a community. So I moved the old site to it's a standalone blog, which it has more or less always been, and then this main site will be more or less a high-level overview of what the site and what we as a community stand for, and something kind of cool. If you go to click the blog link or the old website link, what's going on with my feed here? There we go. You will see this page currently. On this page, there's a form for blog submission forms. It is also linked on the right-hand side over here. This is where you guys can now submit posts for the blog. So basically, any content that you see out there or your own, if you would like it to live permanently on a website, I offer you the mkmeorg website. You just need to put the details in the form, any links, any video, anything you want, your name, obviously, as you want it displayed on the site, because you will get credit, and any link to your media of choice. So if you want a link to your website, link to your social media, whatever, link to your YouTube channel, I offer this for you guys. I mentioned this a while back, that this is the direction I wanted to head with the site, and I'm really happy that we're finally heading that way and that I'm able to offer this as an option. So guys, give it a try. If you see anything out there that you would like shared or your own content, please go ahead and throw it in the form and I will get it posted up and it will live forever. I'll do some metadata and some links and SEO so you can take advantage of the site. Hopefully it works for you with any luck. I just got to deal with one phantom window here. I think we've got it. And I'll catch up on the chat. Sorry guys, I've totally missed the chat all night, but I'll catch up later. I'm sorry about that, guys. I couldn't juggle the video as well as the chat. Zach said, awesome, Eric, loved it. Can't wait for the next guest. Awesome. Glitch said no longer WordPress. Actually, it is a WordPress theme still. It's just a little different one. I like it a lot better. And the background is actually one of the videos from our high altitude balloon launch. So pretty cool. And Zach said it looks great. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Brandon said it's awesome. Looks really good. Glitch said awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. This is something that I wanted to do. This is some really long-term visions for the site. And now that we've moved it over to a blog, it's going to be kind of a cool place for us to share our content as well as the G Plus community. But the blog is really unique. It is a website. The content lives forever there, and there is some search engine optimization that's handy having it on a site and linked back to your YouTube channel or whatever. It really helps people out, and there is quite a bit of traffic goes through the makeme.org site. So, hey, might as well take advantage of it, guys, as a community. Pretty happy about that. All right, guys, let's see. What else we got? What do we got for time? 10 minutes. Not too long. Actually, I can hit the viewer challenge real quick, and I think got it. Not that one. That's the wrong one. Community support. Yeah, like, share, thumbs up on the video if you like these guys. Share it out. Yep, that's where that went. All right, viewer challenge. I want to see what you guys are making. Every week I like featuring what you guys are making. So in addition to the blog, I like sharing what is on the G Plus community. You can find it on the About page at makeme.org/blog. Glitch shared out his Model 2 dead battery repair video. Glitch, I haven't got to watch this yet. I have no doubt it is good. I have no reservations about sharing it here. Awesome, guys. You can find this in the G Plus community. Direct link down below and below in the description. Ken shared with us Planetary Society, Beyond the Horizon, Symphony of Science. This was an interesting video link on Planetary Society. Guys, they're the ones that sent up the first light sail satellite this year, another one next year. Bill Nye, awesome stuff. This is an interesting video. It was an auto-tuned music video of sorts. It was kind of neat. I have to say, I could have done without the auto-tuning, but hey, it was cool. Check it out, guys. Mike shared with us, just try to make your own coil gun accelerator. I haven't had a chance to watch this fully. What I did see of it momentarily, it looked pretty cool. And his comment, this guy is a nut. Yep, sounds about right. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks for sharing that, Mike. And Educates.tv, who was with us earlier, I'm not sure whether he's still with us, shared his Arduino tutorial using the 1.44 inch color TFT display with Arduino. This is a display I have not tried. I love these small color displays. I think they have a great purpose in our projects because it's one more option. A display really makes a project come to life regardless what it is, because it allows us an interface, a human interface with it. So I just love these things, and he did a great job on the video. Thanks for sharing that, Educates.tv. All right, cool. Cool. Lots of good chat going on. Let me see if I can get to the next stage. What do we got? 8 minutes, guys. We did good tonight. We are on track. I did have a full show scheduled just in case, so I got to skip over a pile of content here. And actually, I'm going to fire this one up real quick because David mentioned it. And this has come up on the live cast several times. Guys, I found this this Kickstarter just today, and it's called the TrackSoar APRS unit. This is an Atmega 328 chip, the Arduino chip, and a U-Blox GPS and a 2-meter transmitter. I think I forget how many milliwatts it is. It's not a real high power, but it's for balloon tracking in a standalone one complete unit. Really cool. I've only seen these one other place on the web when I was building the high altitude balloon project, and this would have been really cool to have APRS tracking for a balloon. Their prices are a little steep on this in my opinion, but hey, it's a Kickstarter and they're doing quite well. They're already at $12,000 of their $22,000 goal, so hopefully they do all right. I love the product. I think it's awesome. It allows people an entry point into the high altitude balloon hobby. It would have been handy for me. I wouldn't necessarily have used that because I didn't have a license, so I wouldn't be able to use the 2-meter unless I brought on another team member. But still, very, very cool, guys. Check it out. And catch up on the chat really quick. Glitch said how they should have put the TrackSoar APRS on JLens. Very cool. Alright, guys. Let's go. From the shop, guys, not too much this week. I did the Fox 1A amateur radio satellite. Really quick video on catching yet a new CubeSat up there. Loved it. It was fun. I'm going to try a different transmitter setup one of these days. Maybe I'll share next week. Survival Tech Nord sent me an awesome video he made on a transmitter construction. But little sneak peek, guys. We've got a mailbag, multiple mailbags coming up, but one in particular goes with the Projects Without Borders. And I know I've alluded to this project over and over. This project I keep getting more pieces, and you will see a video. I got the OuterNet, the Lighthouse receiver. We discussed it at length last week. This has arrived, the $99 KU band satellite receiver that receives content that's basically being sistered up on satellite downlinks that they're paying for bandwidth and you can receive for free. There's no subscription, no nothing, and they're sending down just good human knowledge stuff. And well, the receiver is here. I have to get a satellite dish together and then we can preview the function of it, and then we can put it to work in the upcoming projects. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really happy about this. I can't wait to use this thing in this big project I have in mind. So it's pretty exciting for me. I'm really, really excited about this one. So yeah, we'll give it a go. And Glitch said, still think OuterNet is amazing. Need to get one of those. Yeah, well, I'll do some videos on it and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I have no doubt that it's going to be a very good asset to the project I have in mind. And let's see if we can queue up the final one. Come on, computer. Do what I ask. Computer, listen to me. All right, guys. Closing thoughts for tonight, guys. Something I ran across just before the broadcast. I only got a chance to watch bits and pieces. Well, a good little chunk of the main video. Guys, I have a new favorite entrepreneur slash philanthropist out there. Guys, have you heard of this gentleman? Manoj. He is the owner of 5 Hour Energy Drinks and the founder of Billions in Change. Billionsandchange.com is their website. And you can find this video and their YouTube channel by searching for Billions in Change. Guys, I can't say how much I resonate with the message that they're putting out. So they tout that he's donated 99% of his wealth, which is I think in the $4 to $6 billion range, to philanthropy and developing water projects, desalinization projects, power projects for areas that don't have power. This guy, it is a really, really cool message that he's putting out there. And until I find something bad about it, this guy is my new favorite. He does a great job at speaking. He has company, really cool like maker spaces of a company. One's in Michigan, not far from me. Might have to see if I can check it out. But check out Billions in Change, guys. This is the trailer, but the main video is viewable. I think it's like 40 minutes and goes through what they're up to and some things they're working on. I love this level of social responsibility to big companies and big CEOs out there, and truly making a difference in the world. It's pretty awesome. This one blew me away. I'd love to know if you guys knew about Mr. Manoj. I sure didn't. And check him out. I think you guys will love it. Totally in alignment. I think you guys will see in alignment with kind of the visions that I have had, my visions of where I'd like to take the mkmeorg community someday. But hey, we'll see. Guys, appreciate you being here tonight. Appreciate David joining us tonight. Thank you, David. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you built something cool this week and share it with the world. Some big stuff going on this week. I think there's the Hackaday Prize doesn't close till next week, but there was at least 2 other things closed this week. So some pretty exciting stuff going on. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope everything treats you well. Glad you could be here tonight. Cheers, guys.